These are stories about murder.
Could there be a hidden clue?
Things that are exceptionally alarming.
Like what?
Just alarming things.
Because he's at the bottom of the ocean, every little sound is intensely magnified. He hears animals eating his friends and crewmates.
Oh my God. Instead of scattering ashes, he had simply dumped them in the parking lot. In Germany, before a royal court.
Thought she was Polish.
No, the magician is Polish.
This is 3 Shots In.
And today, we're talking about... Hey everybody, welcome to 3 Shots In. I'm Jake.
I'm Jess, and this is episode 24.
That's right. We're talking all about meat.
Meeting
Wonderful
people?
Meat. Oh, meeting people. We did meet a very important people today.
I mean, no, it was yesterday, but that's okay. A super important person, someone who drove all the way out from a faraway land to record this podcast with us, and his name is Flash. Welcome, Flash.
Flash sounds awesome. I wish I could meet him.
Yes,
You are him.
Oh, I'm Flash, and I am glad to be here on 3 Shots In with these wonderful people I have just met on the show where we are talking about meat or meeting.
I'm talking about meeting.
Also joining us
is Dad.
Hey folks.
Dad's also here, and we are going to talk about meat. But first, we'll have to spin the wheel.
Okay, you're jumping way ahead of the gun.
What are you talking
You
about?
always do this.
What do you mean?
You're so dumb and I hate you.
That's unfair.
Because you forgot to thank the most wonderful people in the world,
Yeah.
Jessica.
Well, which ones?
That's our sexy hung patrons.
Our hung patrons?
They're
But
hung.
some of them are our mother.
Okay, well, mother's got a fucking whopping clit, you know? I don't know what to fucking tell you. All right?
Okay. I don't really want to think about that, but
No one does. Jessica, you're the one that did this.
I didn't.
Anyway, thank you, patrons. We love you so much. If you want to become a patron because you're not lame, go to 3shotsin.com and you'll find the Patreon link, and it's awesome.
And we've got a lot there for you. We'll talk about that later on in the show.
That's right. Shots tonight.
We took shots of old Tom Horan.
Oh, God, Tom.
There
Yeah.
he is right there, you
He's
guys.
amazing.
Old Tom.
Tommy.
Give them a little view of that. Old Tom Horan. That is a bottom shelf Irish whiskey. And not bad. I didn't like it, but I really
Opinions
don't
around
like
the
anything.
table do not vary much on Tom. He is solid. He will get you drunk. He'll get your belly burning.
Yes.
And you don't have to spend much on Tom.
He's a cheap date, and he won't treat you right, but you will have fun.
Tom's a little rough, but memories are made when you get around Tom Horan.
He's going to slap you around a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But you get lucky on your first date. So
Right,
that's always
right.
a plus.
Exactly.
Well, drinks, I made us all whiskey sangria, Jake style.
That sounds a lot more fancy than it actually is.
Yeah, it is essentially blended whiskey mixed with simple syrup and club soda and lime juice with a red wine blend float and a pinch of nutmeg.
It's true. I watched you pinch it.
I
But
did.
listeners, I was there for the first time when Jake made drinks, and it is a thing to behold. I kind of learned how much a Jake is, but the biggest thing I learned is that when a drink doesn't come out perfectly right, you improvise and you throw a little jizz of lime juice in. And
Just
it was nice to be there when the magic happened.
Just a small spooge.
But that's because the legitimate recipe for the whiskey sangria was dog shit.
It was.
So I had to improvise.
It was, and you did well.
Yeah.
It was on the fly, and you were under pressure, and I commend you.
Thank you.
Is that camera rolling?
Thank you.
Yours
Sir. Yes,
on
of
your
course
phone?
it's rolling.
Just wanted to
God,
make sure.
you dumb. God, you stupid horse.
checking.
Do you think I just forget to click record?
Yes.
Now you're making me second guess literally everything in my life.
I'm pretty sure it's not running.
Is
It's
it?
running.
Oh.
I
You're the
wasn't
worst.
sure. I I just wanted to know.
I was on top of it.
Wait a minute. What about Jessica's camera? Is that running?
Probably
Yes,
not.
it is.
Do we know?
Yes, it
I'm
is.
pretty sure since now she's checking it.
I just wanted to make sure too, because stupid fucking Flash made me question whether or not I had, but I know I
Okay,
had.
quiet horse, because it's time that the wheel be spun.
Flash, why don't you do the honors?
I would love. Wait. I did calisthenics especially for this moment,
Okay.
so I would have enough strength to give it my all. Here we go.
Okay.
Oh,
Wow.
that was a good spin.
That was
That was solid.
you labored over that spin.
I know. I kind of pulled out a muscle in my crotch.
Okay.
Wow.
You have to cook and eat one cartoon animal. Who would it be? So one cartoon animal, you must kill it, cook it, and eat it.
Dad, if you've got one in mind, go first. Go.
Jessica Rabbit.
She's not an animal.
She might not die right away, though.
She's a human person. She's not an animal at all. Married to a rabbit. Are you
That
going
was
to
my first choice.
Are you going to cook and eat her husband? Because he's a rabbit.
No.
I didn't think so.
All right, let me go back to thinking more. Go back. You
All
guys
right.
get
All
yours.
right. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. I've got one. When I was a little kid, I used to watch like Warner Brothers and Hanna-Barbera and all the classics with my grandpa, who is no longer with us. God rest his soul. And I
rest
know
him.
he's watching us in this room tonight, and he would be very proud of the shenanigans we're about to.
Partake.
Partaken.
Yes. But I would eat Tweety Bird. That
You stole my answer.
motherfucker.
I hate him.
Pretty savage.
So
Was that
fucking
really
annoying.
your
I really was
answer?
going to say that. I hate him.
Oh my God, Tweety Bird is such a bitch. He would always
Fuck
taunt
that bird.
Sylvester.
Yeah.
And Granny would always stick up for Tweety Bird. And you know what? I'm not about that. Tweety Bird was a little bitch, and I want to have Tweety Bird wings.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say on that.
All right. I'm eating Pumbaa.
Why?
Yeah. That motherfucker is a fat little boar, and you know
That bacon is
you
good.
know he's going to have solid bacon.
That's true.
Okay.
That is
Okay.
true.
Cooking it in
God
the
dang,
ground with
that's a
some
good one,
pineapple.
son.
Yeah.
You get pork chops, you get
That
al
was a good
pastor
one.
tacos.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know, if we're going to go there, and Flash already stole my answer before I could say it,
I know.
I'm going to eat Porky Pig.
Oh.
Huh.
Like, there's no arguing how fatty he is.
Yeah,
That
for
meat's
sure.
clean. It's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he is such a little pervert running around without pants on all the time.
I know.
I'm gonna go with he's not on anymore, but he's the one that says, hey boy, who's that guy? The big chicken.
Oh,
Foghorn Leghorn.
Foghorn
Yeah,
Leghorn.
the
That's-
rooster.
Yeah, that's what I mean, because that's a big chicken. And I love chicken breast. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you're going to eat
Sorry.
his breasts.
Sorry, Foghorn Leghorn. And he's not around anymore.
What the fuck? Foghorn
Leghorn.
Leghorn?
He was the big old chicken. You probably didn't see him as a kid. You might have. Certain individuals shut him down because he sounds racist. Because he has a southern accent.
Oh, yeah,
And he'd say, hey, boy.
Yeah,
But he
yeah.
said it to
would
everybody.
Yeah, I know.
That's so lame.
Foghorn Leghorn would be the white supremacist of the cartoon world.
The chicken
right now.
community.
Yep.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
just don't think that's true at all. Who was the cowboy with the mustache all the way down to his chest?
Yosemite Sam.
Yosemite Sam, yeah.
That was the white supremacist of Looney Tunes.
Yeah, but he was Canadian, so I don't think he can be a white supremacist.
Yes, he can. They
you
can
sure?
exist anywhere.
Okay.
Actually have a big community up there from the law enforcement standpoint. Just saying.
Oh.
That's like people tried to take away Speedy Gonzalez.
Oh.
They tried to take him away from us,
Gonzalez.
Browns,
Really?
but we were like, no, leave him. He's perfect.
He was perfect.
He was.
He was ready to work really hard, but he just needed that nap to really get through it. You know?
I want to work, pero I so sleepy.
Andale.
Arriba, arriba.
No, that was perfect.
Why does one eye close when you talk Mexican?
Because
Bad
I'm
odds.
so sleepy.
You just witnessed Jessica canceled.
They can't cancel me. I am brown.
This is true. But Jess, you are up first talking about meat.
Let's see it. Let's hear
True,
it.
I am. I'm actually very happy with these notes. I hope you guys are too.
We won't be.
Probably not.
I think you'll be very impressed.
Yeah.
Who knows? Dad's an avid watcher of the same sort of program stay-at-home moms watch, true crime-wise. So maybe he won't be so impressed.
In Days of Our Lives.
Because I'm retired, so I see a lot of stuff.
All right. So I'm not going to give any explanation. I'm just going to jump right in. July 13th, 1966, Corazon Amarao, one of 9 young female student nurses living together in a house in Chicago, heard a knock at the door that night, and she opened it to find one man, 24-year-old Richard Speck, who forced his way in at gunpoint.
Oh.
He ordered them all to empty their purses before beating, raping, strangling, and stabbing all of them.
How many were there?
Damn.
All
9.
except for Corazon. She had managed to slip away and hide under a bed. Speck had been so drunk he had lost count of all the women, so she hid for hours before he was finally done and left, and she was able to get help from her neighbors. By that time, 24, though he was very young, had already accumulated 41 counts of arrest, which included drunk driving, trespassing, forgery, and violence, but also rape, robbery, and murder. Corazon was the only one to survive, and she described a tattoo on his arm that said, "Born to raise hell." He was caught a few days later after being rushed to the hospital after attempted suicide. The tattoo was noticed.
Ah, man.
Yes.
That's why you should never, ever get tattoos, kids.
That's why you cover your tattoos when you're going to commit crimes.
Or just don't commit crime. Like, there's also that. You could just not do that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that's not an option.
Whatever. You
All right.
weren't in Nam, all right?
Neither
Wait,
were
is-
you. No one here was in Nam.
Your grandfather was in Nam. So that's the end of the story?
Uh-huh.
So what's the meat? Because they met Richard Speck?
She opened the door
Gotcha.
and met him.
Gotcha. Just want to make sure.
So he raped and murdered 8 women at once.
Yeah, pretty much.
He held a gun and forced them all to bind themselves.
I can't handle one at once.
I know you can't.
Wait, how do you know?
You're no Dick
You just,
Speck.
you have that look.
Oh, okay.
You're no Dick Speck.
I am not a Dick Speck.
Let's keep going. November 1974. 19-year-old Carol Duranch had finished some shopping at a mall in Murray, Utah. She had loaded her things into her car and was about to leave before she was approached by a man claiming to be a police officer who showed her his badge and explained that her car had nearly been broken into and that he wanted to get a report from her. He convinced her to ride with him in his Volkswagen.
That's already bad. All serial killers ride Volkswagens.
Yes. Before half a mile into the drive, jumping at her, attempting to handcuff both of her wrists, but failing. Despite him having a crowbar and a gun, Duranch fought back. She said, quote, "I was able to open the door on my side and get out, and he came out after me over the seat, and we just fought outside of the car." Before she saw an opportunity and dove into another car as it passed by.
Was it a yellow bug? A VW?
Of course
It sounds like Ted Bundy.
It was
It
the
is
Volkswagen of Ted Bundy.
Of course it's Ted Bundy.
The worst serial killer you could find yourself in a situation with. And that is exactly what she found herself in. Her story actually provided police with important details about Bundy's abduction techniques.
I'm pretty sure that was his downfall, if I recall.
It was one of them, because
then it was the sorority.
he gave up on her,
Yeah.
but was frustrated when it didn't work out. And he went on, I think, to do the same thing, but successfully to a 17-year-old that same night.
This story is shocking to me because Ted Bundy, I've always known the legends of how he was so smooth and he was the ladies' man. I did not know he had a piss yellow VW bug.
Yeah, he had a yellow bug.
Yeah.
Wow.
That same car actually is circulating through like morbid museums now.
Like the actual
The
car.
actual car.
Oh my God. Wow.
Do you remember the Museum of Death in LA, Pop?
Oh, absolutely.
They had his Volkswagen there.
I took you guys there.
No, you didn't. I never
you
went.
didn't.
You took Katie there.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Mm-hmm. How did you guys get there?
We never did.
I went on my own.
I never went.
It was cool.
Never had
It
a
was
chance.
awesome. They had like a never-ending reel of snuff films at the end.
Pretty much.
You could just sit there and watch.
Yay! Either way, her story provided police with important details about his abduction techniques. In 1975, an officer pulled Bundy over in the same Volkswagen, which they now had a description of because of Duranch. And inside they did find handcuffs. So they arrested Bundy, and Duranch was able to identify him as the culprit, which meant he was put behind bars. He did later escape from prison.
Yeah.
If you guys know the story. But he was recaptured in 1978 and confessed to killing 28 women before being sentenced to death and executed in Florida in 89.
Yep.
Now, is Bundy's official number 28? Or
That's
did they
his
find more
admitted
later?
number, but they think it's way higher.
They
It
charged.
has to be way higher.
They probably charged him with more, but expected he was guilty of even more than that. And 28 was the number he was guilty
found
of.
guilty
Found
of.
guilty of in court. Yeah. Next, April 28th, 1978. In Wichita, Kansas, 63-year-old Anna Williams had come home to evidence of a break-in.
Oh.
She'd gone out dancing that evening, stopped for an impromptu visit with her daughter.
Where was this?
Wichita, Kansas.
Okay.
Is it sounding familiar to you?
Oh, I know. this
Maybe.
one.
I know a lot of serial killer shit, so
Yeah.
just keep going.
All right. Well, she had gone out dancing for the evening and stopped for an impromptu visit with her daughter, got home very, very late, much later than she anticipated. And when she entered her home, she found a plastic-coated wire hanger from her basement in her bedroom.
Huh.
Now, at the time, there was a killer on the loose, and whoever it was had a habit of cutting the phone line before breaking into a home, and Wichita residents, as a result of that, were advised that if they left their homes for any reason, any amount of time, to check their phones as soon as they returned. The hanger, all by itself, wasn't necessarily alarming, but it was odd enough that she checked her phone and found no dial tone. Whoops. So she immediately ran to her neighbor's place, called the cops. They looked through her house and found nothing amiss until they reached her closet.
Wow.
They found rope, wire, her underwear, and belts, all in a bundle in her closet. They also found that some of her scarves, coins, and jewelry were missing. And then everything kind of went quiet for her until June 15th, 1979, so a little over a year later. Anna received a very graphic drawing and a poem that read as follows. "Oh, Anna, why didn't you appear? 'Twas perfect plan of deviant pleasure so bold on that spring night. My inner felling hot with propension of the new awakening season. Worn wet with inner fear and rapture. My pleasure of entanglement like new vines at night. Oh, Anna, why didn't you appear? Drop of fear, fresh spring rain would roll down from your nakedness to scent to lofty fever that burns within. In that small world of longing, fear, rapture, and desperation, the game we play, fall on devil ears. Fantasy spring forth mounts to storm fury, then winter clam at the end."
Damn.
I am
Hey, is
smoldering
anyone
right
aroused?
now.
Yeah, I'm aroused. Oh, yeah. He had me.
I mean, what if he was in my closet? You know what I mean? Like,
It keeps going
I would
about
reply,
that same
I'm
way.
so sorry, sir. I'll be here next time, I promise.
There's several more lines, and the theme remains the same, but it, at the end, was signed BTK,
BTK.
1979.
Yep.
So,
Caught till way later, too.
after he was eventually caught, Dennis Rader, the BTK killer, confessed that he became obsessed with Anna and was absolutely livid when she didn't arrive home that night. He had spent hours waiting for her in her closet, for her to come home, and had waited so long that he either got impatient, perhaps he didn't think she'd come home that night at all, that's how late it was, and left. She would have been his 8th victim
Damn.
if she hadn't stopped by her daughter's house to hang out that night.
What was his real name?
Dennis Rader.
Dennis Rader.
Dennis Rader. And he was from Park City, which is right north of Wichita, and it is a very small town. And he went how many decades without getting caught?
Well, it's because he
so
went
long?
dormant. He went totally dormant, didn't contact
And that is
anybody.
odd for
Yeah.
a serial killer.
Right.
Because once they start, it it picks
They
up
usually
in pitch.
progress, and yeah.
Yeah. So he
But it's like the California guy,
he stayed free
That they
for a
found. He was a
long
former
time.
The Golden State
Golden
Killer.
State Killer. He was hot and heavy for a long time, and then just dropped off.
And that's not normal.
It's kind of one of those things, like, if it's such a rush for them, you imagine it would be really difficult to stop. If you're that crazy, you're that twisted, and you finally get some release.
Once you cross that line,
I know
it
the other
picks up.
guy
It's like a
got-
fever pitch.
He got married and had some stepchildren or something like that, or regular
Which one?
children. The California guy.
Golden State.
Yeah, he married and whatever, and I think he was content with whatever she gave him or whatever, something to that effect.
It might have been he might have gotten a rush every time he thought about it.
Yeah.
And thought about how I got away with this.
Yeah.
Because he got away with it for a long
That's why they take little mementos. because
I think
they
he
can
was like a
relive it.
pastor too, the BTK killer.
No, he was a dog guy, like a animal control guy, and he also was a not a cop. It was like a wannabe cop. He would give notices, mow your yard. put your
Oh,
trash can
like
an
HOA?
but not
Okay.
HOA. It was for the whole city. He was a city
He was
worker,
a community leader.
and he was a community leader
gotcha.
in his church. He was
Right.
like a deacon,
Okay.
but he
Yeah,
wasn't a
yeah,
pastor.
that's what I was thinking about.
Yeah. He was. You didn't know it was him.
It's wild.
Yeah.
But that letter,
no motherfuckers.
that letter was hot.
But also,
Yeah, I didn't know he could.
what a
he was such
cool
poet.
ass name though.
Fuck yeah.
The BTK.
BTK.
Yeah.
That's
Even
fucking cool.
Dennis Rader sounds badass.
It
It's
actually
like
does. It's
Ryan
a cool
Ravager.
name. I don't like what he did, but the name is cool.
Yeah.
You know?
the name
know.
is fucking badass.
I'm afraid that if I ever get caught, start killing people,
Right.
Right.
that I will have some crappy name like the shit your pants killer.
Poopy Pants Killer.
Like I defecate because I get so excited and then I leave a trail at the crime scene.
Well, interesting. I don't always come to mind, but I've recently got on. There's a lot of truck driver serial killers.
Those guys are the scum of the earth.
All right, what's next?
All right. Last one. July 4th, 1985.
Oop.
16-year-old Whitney Bennett forgot to lock her window at her home in Sierra Madre, California.
Uh-oh.
She returned home shortly before 1 a.m., changed into her nightgown, and eventually fell asleep on her bed with the light on. The very next thing she remembered was waking up with a terrible headache in a darkened bedroom, which had been torn apart. The telephone had been cut at the cord. She screamed for her parents, and her father came in to assist her. The only thing left behind... Oh, actually, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. She had been severely beaten with a tire iron,
Yeah.
which had been left behind on her bedroom floor. So severely, she needed cosmetic surgery to repair her face.
Damn.
She'd also been strangled. Her telephone cord had been cut, like I said, and her jewelry had been stolen. Other than the tire iron, only one bloody footprint had been left behind.
Size 9.
The same bloody footprint was found on the left cheek of a woman named Joyce Nelson in Monterey Park, who was found beaten and strangled in her home 2 days later.
Okay, time out. I have a question. Was that her butt cheek or was that her
face?
Her
cheek?
face cheek.
Her face. Her face.
She got stomped.
All right. Well, I figured she got stomped, but I wasn't sure which hemisphere.
And that's an important distinction. Thank you, Flash, for asking. Whitney Bennett's testimony in the shoe print left in her bedroom contributed to the evidence against Richard Ramirez,
Oh yeah.
the Night
dude.
Stalker.
R&R.
That's how they fucking got him. Can you believe that? They got him because of his fucking footprint, his shoe print. And it's because it just so happened that brand of shoe
Yeah, it was a special shoe.
didn't fucking sell well in Southern California.
Yeah.
Skechers.
And so it was
No, it
only
was a
literally,
weird one.
it was like, yeah, it was a random brand, but
It's
it was
probably
like,
like Crocs before they became popular.
So she had circles on her cheek.
it was like only like 12 pairs were sold like in fucking LA County and only one matched the actual shoe size.
Wow.
And it was him.
Yeah.
Like how fucking crazy is that? They got him on a fucking shoe print.
He was sentenced to
You
death.
got to think of everything if you're going to murder somebody.
And he wasn't actually executed until 2013.
I know.
I didn't know that. That was so recent.
It was a long time. I remember I was in school when that happened.
I had no idea.
It was big news. That's all anyone was talking
I
about.
just recently watched a girl who idolized him and killed the guy she went on a date with.
Oh
Stabbed
my
him in the
God.
chest for
So weird.
Richard Ramirez.
Weird.
There's a really
Fucked up
great
people.
documentary on Netflix called The Night Stalker.
Yeah.
It is fantastic. I highly recommend it.
I'm going to have to check that out.
And honestly, like Richard Ramirez was so creepy. Like that documentary makes you feel like just about it. And they show a lot of gruesome shit. He did terrible things.
No, he did.
Like, honestly, I don't know if I would consider him more of a serial killer or more of a ripper in the way that he would react in his situations.
Not
he
everyone
would
was.
He was just totally violent then when he killed.
Not
It was
everyone
brutal.
was beaten like that, though.
Well,
like
He didn't have a type.
that's what made it so difficult to catch him. I
Yeah.
thought is that it was so different a lot of the
Yeah,
times
he
that
would
he
go
actually.
and-
when
attacked
when he
somebody.
would break into the house, the men would die. The men would die. The
Okay.
women, if you were lucky, you were just brutally raped and beaten.
She wasn't. That's kind of what I mean. Like, there's no predicting.
She was
But it's
beaten
also
by-
because maybe he was scared.
Yeah.
He heard a sound and he bolted.
Her parents were home,
And
so
his
maybe-
whole thing is he just went to who had the window open.
Well, and
That's how he found his.
And Richard
targets.
Ramirez had one of the coolest serial killer names ever.
the
Yeah, he
Night
did.
Stalker.
And evidently he earned it.
That's actually why I obsessively lock the door all the time. Even if it's midday, everyone's home, multiple people are in the house, I always lock the front door. If I don't expect anyone, like if we don't have like a series of people coming all at once,
Yeah.
I always lock the front door because there was a serial killer. I don't remember his name, but his MO was that even midday, didn't matter what time of day, he didn't give a shit if he got caught or died. Like he wasn't being careful
When he had
on
the
purpose.
compulsion, he went for
He
it.
would just go and try someone's front door. And if it was unlocked, he would go in and just
Do what he's going to
destroy.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was a ripper.
Well, but I thought Ripper meant something different. I thought it had to do with like the gore left behind specifically.
A ripper, like just in the moment, lets their fucking
Rage.
their ego and their super ego fucking turn off, and their like id, right, their inner animal just goes entirely.
Jack the Ripper, I thought, was very like surgical. It wasn't like an animal. It wasn't.
They
actual.
called him the Ripper because they're English and they don't know how to use their fucking words.
Oh, it's a British problem.
Yeah.
He's a Ripper.
He's a
NA.
A
ripper.
ripper
Hey, nay.
in it.
Ripper.
It's dangerous out here to be a prostitute, innit?
Yeah, that was brutal,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Sorry,
All right.
England.
Sorry, England.
I
We're very
apologize
sorry.
for my children.
We apologize. All right, that's it for me.
You're done?
I believe it's your turn now.
Is it my
It's-
turn?
I think so.
It's Flash.
All right. I take it easy on me because this is my first time ever podcasting. I'm a virgin and
You're about to pop your podcast cherry.
I am scared as hell.
Oh,
All right. Anyway, the topic this week is meat. And I have had such an awesome time meeting all of you. Even you, Jake.
Thank you.
the last one you expected to enjoy.
Yeah.
Oh, everyone loves me. I'm great.
Anyway, tonight my topic is competitive eating. But first, I have a local story of interest involving meat. And I'm going to set this up because there's a news story I'm going to read, and I actually met the guy in the news story. I was at a local watering hole where I live in central Nebraska, and I was out in the afternoon having a drink, and a guy came in, and he asked the bartender if he could plug in his cell phone in the wall because he just got off the Amtrak train from Oklahoma. Well, Amtrak, where I live, runs between Chicago and Denver. Nowhere near Oklahoma.
Yeah. Okay.
So right away, we were all on guard. And I went out to have a cigarette because I'm a dumbass and I smoke. And that guy popped out to have a cigarette too at the same time. And I'm talking to him. And he's telling me about how he ran a bar in West Key West, Florida.
Oh,
yeah.
shit,
And it was the
nice.
only bar in Key West that had a rooftop area where you could go up and party. And he's like, if you go down there, look me up, I'll hook you up. And the dude had crazy eyes. And I'm like, oh my God, he's on meth or coke or something. And he was not normal. And I'm just listening and I'm not saying anything. And I'm like, I need to get the fuck out of here because this dude is crazy.
Were you worried he was going to go postal?
Okay, I can tell you this right
he
now.
had that look.
I was just in Key West, or we went to the Keys for my honeymoon.
Right.
The only rooftop bar in Key West was called the Garden of Eden,
Okay.
It was a nudie bar.
and it was a swinger nudist bar.
You know what? That is probably the one he was talking about, and he probably visited once. He wasn't in charge of the place. Nobody would put that guy in charge of anything the way his eyes were darting around. And I have a picture here. Can we put that on a camera somewhere?
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's him. Timothy, what's his
Byers.
name? Timothy Byers.
A man arrested for burglary after
Yeah.
entering a Grand Island home just to eat chicken and Spanish rice.
Let me see this guy.
Okay,
So anyway.
I mean that's a solid reason to break into a place.
Yeah. So I'm worried. The bartender's my friend. Hi, Brandy. But I was worried about this. And then I saw somebody on social media posting about 2 days later that he was in their establishment in the middle of the afternoon. And he was raising a ruckus and threatening the owner's boyfriend with physical harm. And the cops took him out of there, and that's all they did. They didn't arrest him or anything.
Well, was he just trying to get some chicken and Spanish
Chicken
rice?
and Spanish rice,
No,
dude.
Yeah,
he
like a
was
brother
he
up.
was threatening to kill her boyfriend in like it was a downtown area in a small town. It was like a little boutique, someplace nice where all the fancy people in town, the fancy farmers
shop.
go. Yeah, go to shop.
Those hipster farmers.
Yeah, and he was messed up on something, and then she posted a link to a news story where he had been arrested 2 weeks earlier, and he was out on bail or just because they let him go, or I don't know what's going on with local law enforcement up here. But the
I
story.
mean, any law enforcement, honestly,
Yeah.
do they even know what they're doing?
Easy.
The story reads, Dateline, Grand Island, Nebraska. A man was arrested for burglary after entering a Grand Island home just to eat chicken and Spanish rice. Timothy Byers, 52, was arrested Friday night after Grand Island police responded to a report of burglary at a home in the 1900 block of West 10th Street. Captain Dean Elliott said shortly before midnight Friday, the residents of the home reported they were watching a movie, probably Bambi or something with the kids, you know.
I bet.
Something nice.
I bet.
And when Byers entered their home, this led them to hide in fear inside a bedroom.
While he ate chicken and rice.
Elliott said Byers allegedly entered the home via an unlocked back door and ate the food valued at $5.
Gotta lock those doors.
No damage was reported.
Except for to the chicken and rice, it sounds
How
like.
is he alive?
That's the end of the story. It's like
Right? Some
And-
dude walks into my back door.
He
and
was
goes to eat
out.
my
Well, it's
Spanish
Nebraska.
rice.
It's not
he
Texas.
was out of jail
Jake told
immediately.
Jake told a story though of someone. Remember, it was like, it's me, the guy with the meat.
Yeah, I got the meat.
Yeah, I remember,
I do remember
that. Yeah, I got
That
meat.
guy right
And he
there.
got shot.
Is he looks like a Hills Have Eyes type of guy.
Yeah.
He's what we call, he's probably 5150, which is
Crazy.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's
So
code for
that's
crazy.
why they get off.
Yeah, I was never 5150. I was always 311.
That's naked. Yeah.
I know. It happens.
We'll say 5149 and a half. That's what
Are you saying I'm short? What the hell? Come on, Ryan.
you're fun size.
Fun fact: someone important in my life that is attached to me forever, or at least until the legal obligations sign it away, has a phone number. Last 4 digits being 5150.
Seriously.
You should have known that.
Really?
one.
Yeah.
And you didn't take a hint?
That was a sign from
I've
the
been
heavens.
dogging on that bitch since we were 16 years old. about her phone number.
Now, would this happen to be somebody who would?
Flash.
It's not someone who listens to this podcast.
It's
so
not
that's
important. It's really. It's not important who it is. You know what is important?
What is?
The shot in front of us right now.
Oh my
that's
God!
weird.
We
do have a shot.
That's yours over
That's
there.
true, right there. There you go.
I got the bullet.
I got
we
the
go.
girl shot.
Cheers,
All right.
bitches.
Fuck you, Tom.
Number 5.
Oh,
Fuck you, Hanzo.
Ugh, it's so bad. It's worse now than it was.
oh my God! That is twice as bad as the last one we.
That was better now that I'm more drunk.
Yeah, you're.
Like it hurts. There's no hiding that. But Jameson hurts.
That didn't hurt going down as much. It hurt when it entered my mouth. Kind of like me and you last
know
night, Jake.
What she said.
That's because you need some. Your mouth is dirty. Okay.
It is now.
Go on, Flash.
All right. Anyway, we're going to talk about competitive eating. Everybody has heard about the Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
Everyone has.
Everyone has.
Have we?
Now, Nathan's hot dog eating has exploded in the last few years.
In like popularity, you mean?
Popularity and competitiveness. In the 90s, it was normal. I mean, I could say, Ryan, you're a fucking pussy. I can eat more hot dogs than you can. And we'd go to Nathan's and we'd prove it. And in the 1990s, Frankie De La Rosa ate 21 hot dogs and buns in 1991.
How much time?
In 12 minutes. It was a 12-minute time limit.
I thought you were going to say an hour.
No, 12 minutes was always the time limit. And through the 90s, there was 21, 19, 18, 17. Just normal drunk guys out trying to out-eat each other would basically be what it was like.
Okay.
But then, Tsunami... Oh, shit. What's his name?
I've heard of him.
Kobayashi
Yes, I've heard of him.
came along.
He's a tiny
You
little
have?
Asian.
Yes.
It's because he's so little.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard of
He
him.
can just
he wrecks weenies.
guzzle wieners like
Yes.
it's cool.
In 2001, in 2000, the winner ate 25 hot dogs and buns in 12 minutes.
Oh my
In
25?
25. In 2001, stop doing that, Ryan. In 2001,
You're gonna get him
Kobayashi came along and he ate 50 hot dogs and buns in 12 minutes. He doubled the last year's total. Doubled it.
How many calories is that? 20? 50.
I'll look it up.
We'll get into that. But Kobayashi was the champ for 4 years, something like that. And then came Joey Chestnut, the GOAT, the
feel like I've
Tiger
also heard of
Woods
this. I've
of
also heard-
competitive eating.
What kind of hick shit am I watching that I know these names?
I know.
You know the name Joey Chestnut?
It is very familiar in my brain.
Joey Jaws Chestnut beat Kobayashi in 2007 by eating 66 hot dogs and buns in 12 minutes. That is the year that the game changed in competitive eating forever.
Okay, let's just break that down to simple math. That is more than 5 hot dogs a minute.
And these are foot-long hot dogs, not the little hot dogs you get at the store. These are foot-long Nathan's hot dogs.
Not even like an average 4 to 6 inches?
No.
No, these are well hung hot dogs.
So average hot dog and hot dog bun, 220 calories. Just a hot dog bun with nothing on it. And that's not the foot long.
That's a
normal
dry
hot dog
wiener and bun.
and dry wiener bun, 220 calories.
Let's go through the
Times.
years here. Joey Chestnut beat Kobayashi with 66 hot dogs in 2007. Then he dropped down a little bit. He got a little tired the next year. He only ate 59.
Okay.
But then 2009, he won it eating 68 hot dogs.
Oh my God. Have you ever-
2010, he had an off year with 54. 2011, 62. 2012, 68. 2013,
Which was his record.
69.
60.
And then you get up to 2017, and he ate 72 hot dogs and buns. Oh, wait, I forgot to tell you. After his first year in competition, when he ate 66 hot dogs in 2007, they changed the time limit to 10 minutes from 12 because they were scared somebody was going to rupture their stomachs.
So they made it more challenging, and he still stepped up his game.
Yeah.
So he kept it up. You said it a few years after that. He still reached 68, but now it was 10 minutes instead of 12.
Yeah, 2 minutes shorter on the time limit.
Yeah.
15,840 calories.
His record.
15,000?
It's not 15,000. You're wrong.
I just
No.
did the math.
No,
Oh,
he's
in total.
close.
I thought you were
He's
talking about
close.
one hot dog.
No,
Okay.
after he's all done.
After 68?
72.
2021, he set the current world record at 76 foot long hot dogs and buns in 10 minutes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Dude, have you ever watched them do it? They like dunk it in water
I've never watched
and
it.
like just guzzle it.
I told Jessica last night that I lost 5 pounds this week because I did all my research and then I watched him eat.
Yeah.
After I found out what it did to their bodies.
Oh my God.
And I
So-
almost hurled just watching him
After-
eat 76 hot dogs.
After talking about this, he's going to tell us about some people who like had disastrous things happen to their bodies after
Okay,
these
spoiler
competitions.
alert. You're
Yeah.
the worst podcaster ever.
Well, I just want to say that's why you lost weight, because he heard about the disastrous stuff first and then watched the competitions after that.
He's eating nothing but salads.
As I said, I'm a podcasting novice and I didn't know how to do my research correctly. So I hurt my body watching them hurt their bodies. But
It was a noble cause.
yeah.
Thank you, Flash.
Anyway, Joey Chestnut went on to set 55 world records in eating competitions. And I'm trying to stick to the meats here tonight because that's the topic. But half of his world records are like donuts and cream puffs and other stuff that doesn't involve meat.
Donuts. You got them.
No, I don't think I can do. Well, how many did he
You
do?
can compete.
I'm going to go
donuts.
through some of Joey's records right now.
Okay.
Okay. 76 hot dogs, which in 10 minutes, which equals 22,000 calories in 10 minutes.
Oh my.
That is half a month of food for me.
Oh my
Literally.
God.
Also in 2007, he ate 182 wings in 30 minutes. Now, that one, you don't know how big the wings are because they vary so much.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they were big wings. 103 Crystal Burgers. And I think that's
What is that?
I think that's
Like
an
White
Illinois
Castle?
thing.
Like the
I think
sliders?
I think it's related to White Castle.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but 103 burgers is impressive on anybody's
Even
resume.
a slider. Yeah.
56 sausage and cheese kolaches.
God,
And
vomit.
we had runzas tonight.
Yeah.
A kolache is like a runza, but a little bit smaller. But imagine eating 56 runzas in 10 minutes.
No, sir.
Oh my God.
We all shared like 3 or 4.
I'm pretty sure I ate half a runza and I'm solid.
Yeah. And we're in Texas right now, over in Amarillo, which is a few hours from Tyler.
About 6 hours.
Yeah. They have a big Texan meal, which is a 72-ounce steak, but you also have to eat the salad, which is like a full plate of lettuce. And
Not so bad.
a baked potato,
That's okay.
cornbread.
Yes.
There is also baked beans, I believe, and a roll like as big as Jess's head.
That's a big fucking
Damn.
roll.
That's
Holy
a
shit.
Damn.
That's a
I'm sorry, I
real
missed.
big
Holy
roll.
I'm sorry. No, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I misunderestimated
My heart
the
would
size of
stop.
Jess's head. It's about half the size of her head.
Oh, that's not so bad.
I didn't realize your head was
That's still
huge
pretty
like that.
That's a lot more reasonable.
That's still massive.
Still big.
But he ate the big Texan meal, which you have to finish within an hour to get it free.
Right.
He ate the big Texas meal in 8 minutes and 52 seconds.
Oh my God.
That's so
And that
unhealthy.
steak covers imagine the largest plate you've ever seen. How many pounds is 72 ounces? Somebody's
You
got
just
a
said
calculator.
72. What? That's
Wait,
four,
a pound
five
is
pounds?
a pound is 16 ounces.
Yeah.
5 pounds?
4.5 pounds.
4.5 pounds.
4.5 pounds of steak, and it's
With the baked
thick.
potato and
It's
the
like
beans
4 inches
and
thick.
cornbread, the dinner roll, and the salad.
You guys are really underthinking the baked potato. Have you ever ordered a baked potato in Texas?
No.
They're huge.
They don't call them baked potatoes. They call them spuds.
Actually-
And it's because they will fill a plate. It's
In
like
my
a football. So
research,
big.
I watched a 112-pound girl go to the Big Texan and eat the whole meal in 42 minutes.
Oh.
And that baked potato was huge. It was bigger than her head.
Yeah.
And that's impressive. 8 minutes and 52 seconds for that whole
Oh
meal.
my God.
That's so unhealthy.
And that was 07. That was his big coming out year.
Fuck you. That was unhealthy. How many records do you break?
None. Not like that. Jesus.
That's
He
why,
also ate
That's why history won't remember you.
45 pulled pork sandwiches in 10 minutes. 95 Philly cheesesteaks in 10 minutes. 28 pounds of poutine up in Canada at a competition
No.
in 10 minutes.
God.
Have you guys ever had poutine?
I've never heard of it.
I've
Yes.
heard about it.
Yeah, it's like
poutine.
guts and stuff. I don't know, but it's really yummy.
It's tasty.
But I would throw up after 2 pounds, not 28 pounds.
Yeah.
44 Raisin Cane's chicken fingers in 5 minutes. These are all world records that nobody will probably ever beat. 53. Okay, I took this off the internet. So it says 53 soft beef Taco Bell tacos, which makes me think that they've never eaten at Taco Bell because it's 53 Taco Bell soft beef tacos, not 53 soft beef Taco Bell tacos. Minor distinction, but there's a lot of bad writing I ran into in my research, and we'll get into that later too.
Okay.
There's a lot of long-term effects with the competitive eating,
I bet.
Well, like
especially when you think about when Kobayashi and Joey Chestnut came on the scene. They changed the game for everybody. They started training. Nobody was training before this. So they competitive eat like year round. If they have a competition coming up, Joey Chestnut, like for the hot dog competition, he will start a couple months in advance. And 2 to 3 times a week, he will eat 50 to 60 hot dogs and buns. And then let his stomach cool down a little bit, poop out everything, and do it again. Just to stretch his stomach out as far as he can. And then a few days, like 3 to 4 days before the competition, he will fast and only eat about 500 calories a day. And so his stomach shrinks down to almost nothing. And
so then that's the goal is just the elasticity?
yeah,
So that it can handle all of that all at once?
it's a lot about elasticity. So your stomach will stretch. But it also, I mean, your stomach can't stretch unlimited. It's got
A limit at
abs
some point.
in front of it and skin holding it back. So what happens when you fill up your stomach with that much food?
It goes up or down. It moves the other organs
Yeah,
out
it
of the way.
moves the other organs out of the way. And I will show you some pictures right now.
No.
Oh, whip them out. I love this shit.
It's not actual, but it's
Like a representation.
a demonstration that I found online of Joey Chestnut eating 69 hot dogs. And this is what they start with. Explain that, Jess.
Okay, so what we're looking at is like a condom in someone's guts, between their ribs, but like underneath their lungs, and probably like a good 6 inches above their intestines.
Yep. And the front part of the stomach's open. And this guy
my
shoved
God.
69 hot dogs, which at the time, 10 years ago, was Joey Chestnut's record, which equaled 20,000 calories.
It looks like a full-term pregnancy at that point. Show them the before as well.
Yep. That's what it looked like before. That's kind of what his stomach shrinks down to.
Can I scroll a little bit?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. There we go.
And it's the stomach
nasty.
puffed out. What would that be? About 2 feet outside of where the stomach would be.
It's not quite.
No,
it's not quite 2 feet.
That looks like a full-term pregnancy.
It's a full-term pregnancy, and it's
But-
high. It like that sits like right up into your lungs. It looks like
But this is not realistic because you have muscle and stomach lining
holding it down.
holding it in. So what happens is it shoves the lungs like up into your neck, and all your other organs get spread out.
So you just can't breathe for 48 hours?
If you watch these guys after a competition when they're receiving their award, they're like just breathing really shallow because there's no lung capacity left.
They have no room for more air than that.
Yes. And this will get really gross later when I explain what happens to some of the amateurs who have died.
Love it.
In eating competitions.
Died.
Love it.
Died.
I hope that's how I go out. You know,
Now, when
With
you think
69
in
wieners
a food
in your
eating contest.
in your guts.
no,
That's what
Jessica,
she said.
That's not what I said.
That's
I
what
didn't
I
say
heard.
that.
is that your record, 69? Or have you had more than that at once?
In your guts.
And
Wieners.
one wiener, okay?
You've had one wiener in your guts?
I only eat one.
Terry's.
Stop it, Jessica. It's not. That isn't a foot long, okay?
But
Not soft.
in Jake's defense, I would probably eat Terry's too.
Makes
You're a
sense.
lucky woman.
Thanks.
So, anyway, one of the things that I found extremely fun in researching this was all of the nicknames that the competitive eaters have.
Okay.
Of course, we've got Tsunami Kobayashi, who really started the trend before Joey Chestnut came along.
You said that's the skinny, like tiny little
He's
Asian
tiny,
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not big. And Kobayashi is, I mean, he's big for a Japanese guy. He's close to 6 feet. But
Is it Japanese culture that has sumo wrestlers?
Yeah.
yeah,
It means his mom took a Marine. That's what that means.
Joey Chestnut. Joey Chestnut is 6 foot and 230 pounds. But 230 pounds, is that before he had the competition, after he had the competition? I don't know. Because the one I watched was the first one where Joey beat Tsunami Kobayashi. And he came in looking like a scrawny little runt. And they always wear big, extra large shirts when they come into competition because they fill those fuckers out.
They're
when they get
anticipating
done.
needing the room.
Yeah.
Fuck.
But other than that, we have the Locust Lefebvre. Sounds Canadian.
The locust like doesn't ever stop like consuming.
Yeah. They just eat and eat and eat. We also have Hoover Hunt. I think I dated her. Sean Flash Gordon.
Nice.
Stupid name. And then the best name I found, Super Paul Bonebreaker Big Mouth Boom Boom Barlow.
Oh wow.
That is a name. That is the coolest name ever.
Are those his own bones he's breaking? Like his
I'm
ribs?
thinking like chicken wings, probably.
Oh, okay.
And then there is Pat from Moonachie. Have you
that's
guys
it. Pat.
ever heard of Pat from Moonachie?
I don't think
I'm
so.
going to tell you all about Pat from Moonachie. He was regular on Opie and Anthony. That's where he got famous. And I don't know if you've ever heard of Opie and Anthony. Well, they were podcasters and they were famous, so maybe you should look them up. Pat from Moonachie. A picture of
Whoa.
health.
I thought we were gonna look at a woman.
No. That's a dude.
That's a hairless man.
That's an,
52-year-old.
It's a kingpin looking.
that was a really aggressive photo.
Yeah.
Popular king of the pun, Pat from Moonachie, is dead, according to several reports. This was from November 2022, so very recently Pat left us. Pat from Moonachie's cause of death is unclear at this time. Oh, by the way, let me preface this story with, this is the worst written story I've ever read in my life. And there's more questions left after the story than questions answered. And I did not bother to look up any of the questions I have because it's more fun that way.
Okay.
Pat from Monachi's cause of death is unclear at this time, but he has been dealing with health issues. He once got his legs amputated, and a GoFundMe account was created for him.
With the amputated legs?
Yes, for the amputated legs. I guess. I don't know.
Lucky bastard.
Pat's GoFundMe added, all proceeds will go to Pat to contribute to medical expenses or just to help him live a little easier as he gets through this tough time. Thank you. In May, Pat reported having bloody retinas and cataracts. He underwent cataract surgery on his left eye in August. Sounds like he's having some problems.
Sounds like diabetes.
What's that got to do? Is he
Bingo.
eating competitively
What's that
at
gotta mean
at
by
the same
eating
time?
We're getting there. Yeah, I told you this is the worst written story ever.
Okay.
Who is Pat from Monachi? Philbin became a competitive eater after appearing on the Opie and Anthony Show, a popular SiriusXM satellite radio talk show in November 2004. The longtime fan triumphed in a non-alcoholic eggnog drinking contest by downing 70 double shots of the beverage.
70?
More than doubling his nearest competitor.
Oh my God. That's so gross.
The former Clifton wrestler, why would they throw that in when they never mentioned him wrestling before in the article? Vomited into the mouth of a show intern during the 2006 eggnog drinking challenge. And the resulting baby bird video got him barred from the IFOCE for conduct unbecoming of an eater.
Oh my God. That's so foul.
That is what people know Pat from Monachi for.
An eggnog drinking contest?
Yes, and he vomited
gross.
into the mouth of an Opie and Anthony intern. And it went viral on YouTube.
Disgusting.
Philbin was reinstated on December 6, 2006, thanks to protests from O&A's most devoted fans dubbed pests. Which leads me to another point. Your fans need a name.
They do.
And I've been trying to give them a name, and you guys have been shutting me down, and I think that's a bitch move.
That's
Well,
because
what
you
is it?
were just some weird guy
What if
from
it's
central Nebraska.
I'm still some weird guy from central Nebraska.
What if it's a bad name?
It's a good name.
Well, what is it then?
It is called Shotheads. Yeah.
Shotheads sounds like shitheads.
I'm a shothead, and sometimes I'm a shithead. So I will answer to either, and we need to make that a thing. But anyway, all the research I did, the thing I found most shocking was the deaths in competitive eating.
Yeah.
Now, I want to go around here. How do you think most people in competitive eating die?
How do I think most people in competitive
Sepsis.
eating die?
That's a good one.
Sure. But I think it is a result of rupture of the stomach.
That's what I thought too.
Stomach or colon, intestine.
Well, that's
Something.
exactly.
Digestive tract.
I think a rupture of the colon leads to sepsis, which
Yeah.
is what gets them.
Sure.
yeah.
And there are cases of each of those, but far and away, the most deaths come from choking.
That makes sense.
I guess
That
that,
actually
does
makes a
make,
lot of
yeah,
sense,
it does.
It
Yeah.
sounds benign, but wait till I get into it. It's so much worse than blowing your stomach open.
Can you imagine just like sitting at a county fair, like watching like 12 dudes just fucking chow down on hot dogs and one chokes and dies?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck do you do? Do you go on with the rest of your day? Do you go on with the rest of your day and enjoy the rest of the fair, or do you go home because you just watched the man die?
Well, I mean, you don't have to watch him die. You could just perform the Heimlich on him.
You watch him die.
Well, you know what? It's not that easy. And I'll tell you why in a minute. I'm going to go through 3 stories of people who have died, and they're all amateurs because the amateur competitions do not have the professional registered competitions. They have doctors, professional EMTs standing by waiting that know how to handle the specific things that will happen when you overfeed your body. But let's go through just a couple of stories about people dying during eating competitions. An Indonesian man was participating in a chicken eating contest hosted by KFC when things took a turn for the worse. According to reports, Jayati, 45, began to choke while scarfing down his third and final chicken wing. Wait,
Third?
Jayati was rushed to the hospital but died on the way. Local police chief Taufik Iksan, is that how you would say that?
Taufik Iksan.
I was close. Told the paper the top prize of the wing off was 5 billion rupiah, which is equivalent to $385,000.
Still a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, but he didn't win it and he died. A South Dakota native was celebrating Independence Day by participating in a hot dog eating competition when he choked and lost consciousness. It was reported. Paramedics were called in to perform CPR when Walter Eagletail, 45, began suffocating on the Frankfurter.
Couldn't handle his sausage, I see.
It got lodged in the throat and they couldn't get it out. Custer County Sheriff Rick Wheeler said in a statement.
Hate it when that happens.
I know.
He needs advice from Lyle.
You know what? Lyle could have saved Eagletail's life.
Lyle knows how to clear his throat.
He's a Frankfurter aficionado.
You know what?
You might
He
say.
could have used his poop cutter to cut it in half. Eagletail was rushed to the hospital where he died shortly after. And this is 2 stories in a row of choking. Third story in a row of choking, which we will get into the specifics of in a second. But first, we have the famous Florida man entered the Midnight Madness bug eating competition in hopes of winning a python after chowing down on cockroaches, covering his mouth so the crunchy bugs wouldn't crawl out. 32-year-old Edward Archibald collapsed and was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. The Daily
Good.
Mail reported.
Good. How dare you?
His death was caused by asphyxia due to choking and aspiration of gastric contents.
Which were cockroaches at the time.
Yes.
How exciting.
An autopsy report released by the Broward County Medical Examiner's Office said, and that is what I found killed most participants in these eating competitions.
I can't even imagine how uncomfortable.
Have you ever eaten a Thanksgiving dinner and just laid there on the couch and thought you were going to die because you ate too much?
Yes, I can actually imagine how uncomfortable now that I think about it.
Imagine the panic of thinking you were going to win a python for your girlfriend, and all of a sudden you choke on cockroaches.
That's gonna be a thing now. Every time I'm trying to make a point, I'm gonna
Get them
I'm
both up.
gonna hold those fingers out.
I have a bad habit of holding up the OK sign when I'm talking to prove a point, and they keep shoving their fingers through my finger holes.
Present me a hole. That's what I do.
No, Ryan, that is
Same.
most of your problems in life.
That's why that is my issue.
But anyway, my point is, dear
Very
listener, do not enter eating competitions if you have not been training, and do not hold up the OK sign if Ryan's around. I am done.
It's dangerous.
Present
I
no
think- Very
holes.
I think if I'm gonna enter an eating contest, it's because I'm hungry and I'm looking for a free meal.
Right?
Right?
You'll just accept the loss.
I'll
is
be
what you're
last-
saying.
I'll walk up there and be like, it was the worst eating record, blah, blah, blah.
all
Like
time.
he ate 3 hot dogs because I was up there like, oh, this is a really good hot dog, you know? I brought my own condiments up and I'm topping them off.
But also, absolutely, do not enter a cockroach eating competition.
Just don't ever do that.
No,
You know-
that's just a bad thing to do.
I think it's fair to
Even
say
if
that I
there's a
would never-
python on the
There
line.
are no pythons worth that.
I wouldn't say that. I would say most pythons are not worth it.
What sort of python would you eat cockroaches for? Go ahead.
A really cool one.
Like what kind?
Like the kind that would bite my sister and kill her and make me the sole owner of this podcast. That would be a really cool python.
You know what? I like the albino pythons. If there was a cockroach eating competition to win an albino python, I might enter that.
Dad?
None.
There's any kind of
There's
python
no
you would eat
python
cockroaches for?
worth cockroach eating. I'll eat cockroach for survival, but not for a fucking python.
Is there any celebrity you would eat cockroaches for in order to have one night with?
Yeah,
There are many celebrities I would eat
Kate
cockroach.
Beckinsale
Yeah.
in the patent leather outfit with the one zipper up the front.
Yes.
I would choke on cockroaches.
I would
for
do
Kate
terrible
Beckinsale.
things. I would eat the python after I won it.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
After I won the python by eating the cockroaches, I would eat the python so that I could have a night with Kate Beckinsale. Give me like 6 weeks after that.
It's a good thing your pregnant wife doesn't listen.
You know what? I know for a fact that Kate Beckinsale is really turned on by guys who can swallow an entire python whole.
She did date Pete Davidson, so.
Did
Okay,
she really?
we don't bring that up, and we're gonna go on break now because I hate you, and we don't bring it up, okay? Because she's my childhood
She
crush
made out
my
with him
entire life. I've
at
loved her
an
my
NBA
whole life.
game.
I don't like that guy.
Well, here we are with 4 shots of Crown Royal Salted Caramel. It is shot 6, the 6th one.
This is our
had 5 other
third
shots.
day of recording.
We've been here 3 days. We haven't been able to leave this room.
We haven't showered.
Speak for
The
yourself.
smell in the room is amazing.
It's delightful.
It is.
It's like
We're full of runses.
meat and onions and peppers.
Oh, so much meat.
It smells like Little Italy and Little China just had a baby together.
An oniony baby.
I visualized that when I smelt it.
All right, let's take this shot.
All right, number 6.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Wow.
Ugh.
Dad hates it.
I don't like it.
I'm not a fan.
That's a pussy shot. Who brought that alcohol?
Some fat.
Some bitch.
Fuck him. Kick him out.
Our sponsors. That's right. Tilted Tinker, Woodcraft and Wizardry. We'd like to thank Tilted Tinker, Woodcraft and Wizardry. They are a company that makes woodcraft products.
Like plaques with all sorts of hilarious sayings and coasters with sarcastic twists.
All of that dry humor is mixed in with Dungeons and Dragons accessories like dice towers, dice dungeons, and DM screens.
Everything is made here in the USA.
Yes, a family-owned business. They use American wood in American hands.
Nice.
They personally create all of their merchandise.
Yes, they are close friends of ours, but that's the most that we'll say. It could be anyone, but they're fantastic.
They are fantastic, and it really could be anyone at all. We own many of their products.
That's true. All of them are of great quality.
The greatest. You can visit their website at tiltedtinker.com, reach out to them at info@tiltedtinker.com. They are Tilted Tinker on all their social medias.
That's Tilted, Tinker. You should go and buy something from their website because they're awesome.
And they love us, just like we love you. We're back from the break. We've broken thoroughly.
Yeah. We've eaten sandwiches.
I am so broken. It hurt really bad.
Sorry, bro.
The break can do that.
It's okay, Ryan.
To a few.
Dad and Flash disappeared into the back room for a bit.
But it was a sweet, gentle time.
We don't ask any questions.
No, it was good.
You guys seem very happy, and we're happy for you.
It was a bonding experience.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sweet. Intimate. I'm going to spin the wheel, though.
Go ahead and spin it.
Okay. I love that wheel.
It's a beautiful wheel.
Good wheel.
Describe each other's personalities in meats.
Easily. Jacob, you're a ribeye, a well-marbled
You
ribeye.
can't use that.
The marble.
You can't use that.
Everyone was going to use that.
Head nod to TJ.
Oh, okay.
Why is he a well-marbled ribeye?
That's just what I heard through the grapevine from a little bird told me
Gotcha.
that he was a ribeye that was well marbled, specifically. Those were the words chosen. And I happened to agree. So that was my answer.
So
Whatever.
That's
Well, hold on. Jake, I think what you'd really be is like a rack of ribs, but not a full one, Enough that like you're like, wow, this is great, but then it's like you're disappointed at the end. Like it ended too short.
Okay.
It was too quick.
That's fine.
so you wanted more of it.
Right. But then there was nothing more there,
Gotcha.
And it was just a nice, even mix between red meat and marbled meat. And, it was well cooked, quality meat, just not a lot of it,
Okay.
well seasoned meat. What about you, Dad? How would you describe Jacob in meats?
Prime rib.
Prime.
So,
prime.
so
Wow.
get into the center, good to go.
Yeah.
Great piece of meat.
Right.
Get to the outside, and it's tough and just basically a fucking asshole that you're trying to eat. It's horrible.
It's just really chewy.
Yeah, but if you stay towards the center, it's fucking the best.
Okay.
Medium rare,
Right.
au jus. Yeah,
Once
yeah.
again, yeah, super good.
Little
But there's
horseradish.
just
Ajou.
Little horseradish.
super good until
Yeah.
it's not, right?
Well, you just gotta be careful
Yeah.
the side you pick.
Right. Yeah.
You stay in the middle, you're good.
Got you.
So he's prime rib.
What about you, Flash?
Am I?
Are we just roasting Jake right now? Is
No,
that
we're just
I'm
we're just
going with
answering the wheel.
everybody.
This is how we're doing
because
this.
Ryan is a flat iron, a solid, good cut of meat, dependable.
Oh wow.
Yeah, affordable,
Keep going. Oh yeah. Totally affordable.
and you won't regret eating him.
Not a bit.
Jake is like your mid-level.
I'm
hot
Wagyu.
dog.
I am Wagyu.
No,
No,
you
you're
ain't
not.
Wagyu.
No, you're not.
No. You're like a mid-level Frankfurter.
I'm a mid-level Frankfurter.
You're a lunch meat.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, you keep millions of people going every day on lunch break. You are the heart of America.
That's a good thing.
Thanks.
Yeah. Jessica is harder to define. She is more like a Lunchable.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Wow.
Yeah, you've got kind of a choice between bologna and
The really processed pepperoni.
no, the ham with the little red things in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm having a hard time with Jess because she's really like a fluid meat.
Interesting.
No, I got it. Jess is spam.
I was gonna say Jess is spam.
She's so
Definitely spam.
She's spam.
But she's the bacon flavored spam, the special spam. Yeah, where you put it in your mouth and you're just like, oh my God, I did not expect that flavor.
Thank God it was really cheap.
I know. And
89 cents a can. You can't beat it.
and you put some cheese on her and spread some cheese all around on her.
Yeah.
And she just melts in your mouth.
Right.
So
So good. So affordable.
I'm drooling right now.
Perfect.
I was thinking she's more like turkey spam.
Yeah,
your
she could be turkey spam.
Jessica is more of a turkey spam. Like it's turkey, so it's healthy when you buy it, but it's somewhat still oily, and you got to season it, right? Because on its own, it's dog shit.
I went out of my way not to say anything about her Arby's roast beef.
Well, I mean, you really couldn't.
She
Only
do
Terry could
she
say.
do be having the Arby's roast beef, as far as I hear from Terry and the other 28 from the 29 Palms.
A lot of layers. A lot of layers.
To continue my answer, Dad.
Wait, you're done.
No, I haven't said.
she only
I've
said
only
Jake.
talked about Jake. I haven't talked about you guys. Dad's kind of like some good steak that you get at a chain restaurant, but and it's good. But because it's a chain
Like Golden
restaurant,
Corral?
they only serve it in like a certain number of ounces. They can't afford to serve like that much per plate, you know?
Like 4 ounces?
And it's also like you just straight up, if you show up at a Texas Roadhouse, you're not going to spend that much on the plate anyway.
Like a filet mignon.
Like that, but at a Texas Roadhouse.
Texas Roadhouse has filet mignon.
I know.
Yeah.
Sizzler.
They ask you, how do you want it cooked? It doesn't matter. It's all cooked the same way.
I'm a blue collar steak.
That's exactly, Dad.
Okay.
Exactly.
I'm okay with that.
Flash. You ever go to like a small time like charbroiled burger place, but like the burger patties are like squished and just flat into nothing?
Yeah. Flash is like the crumbled beef they sprinkle on top of like a bloomin' onion.
Oh.
Yeah, you're like this squished little meat that like you want more meat, but you're kind of glad that you didn't get any more, you know?
You know what? You guys are trying to slam me right now.
Like it's really...
And I am
flattered.
very flattered.
No one's slamming.
No, it's just being honest.
The only ones slamming are your cousins in Nebraska.
They're probably slamming right now. It's midnight in Sydney County.
Dad, did you say what Flash is?
No. I didn't say what you are either. You are Wagyu beef to me, right?
Thanks.
Sorry, son. No, you're prime rib. You got this. But your sister, you know, she's the Wagyu. So I'm sorry, buddy. Yeah. You're
Sorry, buddy.
You're an expensive cut. And then Flash is a pork chop. He's a pork chop to me because it's a I grew up with it. He's old like me. It's a solid piece. That's what I had a lot of. And it's a good backup piece. It's a good go-to piece. Yeah. And just to add a little element with applesauce and mac and cheese.
Oh my God. I've got solid eye contact going on. And we are going back to my hotel room and we are going to get it on.
We're going to get some mac and cheese, applesauce and get crazy.
Yeah.
We
did good.
Well, who's next? Is it you or is it Dad?
It is Dad.
Okay, my short sweet, and it's a story that is part of my story, things I've done.
Yes.
So I was in 3rd Battalion, 4th Marines. We did a deployment to Okinawa.
Terry was too, also.
He was 15
3rd
years
Battalion,
later.
4th Marines.
For me, it was almost 3 decades ago. But we deployed to Okinawa, and then from there we did a mountain warfare package in Korea. While we were there about a month. Just outside our gate of the camp we were in, there's a little guy, like a street meat guy. He's cooking it. Looks like he's doing tacos or something like that.
Street meat.
And he had this little pot full of, it looked like dumplings, some sort. And so what he would do, and I was like, hey, I'm going to go eat that stuff. I'm going to go check it out. And no one else would but this other corporal that was my buddy. So we go out there, and it was kind of like he'd put like meat down on a plate and then put these like dumpling things on them and then put like a sauce over it. Mm-hmm. And it was delicious.
He was like an artist while he was
doing it was amazing. Well, he's talking to us, but he's talking to us in Korean. We don't know what he's saying. We're talking to him in English. We're all laughing. I don't know what's up. So he's doing his thing. We'd eat it, and it was so good. But that night, I would
shit your brains out.
I would shit my brains out. Yeah, both of us were on, because you're in outhouses. We're both in an outhouse next to her talking. Just our asses are singing to each other. It's horrible. And he goes, "You think it was the meat?" And I go, "Probably." He goes, "You gonna have some tomorrow?" I go, "Fuck yeah!" You know? So we had
it was that good.
It was. I loved it. It was probably 3 or 4 times in a row we had it. There was times we were out in the field, so we couldn't do it, but I loved it. And I found out from our local, so we're training with the ROK Marines, which is Republic of Korea Marines, and our liaison said, "Oh, that's Yaki Mandu and something else. I can't remember. Yaki Mandu, blah, 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 blah." I said, "Cool, thanks." Well, I was talking to the little Korean that served it, and I go, "Hey, what's this meat?" And he's looking at me all like, "What?" And I go, and I grab a piece of meat, and I go, "Moo," and I start making sounds of different things, right? Or like a pig or whatever. And he's all, and he puts the meat down, and he's looking around, and he sees a dog. And he points to the dog. No. And I was like, he's all laughing and pointing to the dog. And I left not knowing it. I'm thinking he's fucking with me, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm a Marine.
Because he knows you're American.
Yeah, he's fucking with me. So I go back. A year later, I become a police officer. And in my academy class, I meet a guy who started his life in Korea. His last name was Kim. And we got together one time having some beers at the academy, and I said, hey, what kind of meat does Yaki Man do? Well, it's that thing. And he said, well, describe to us. So I described to the thing. He says, well, he goes, here in America, it would be whatever meat you can get cheaply. So it'd be chicken, it could be beef, could be whatever, pork. I said, okay, cool. I said, well, if I was in Korea, what would it be? He goes, well, it could be anything. He goes, but most likely it would be dog. And I'm like, oh, shit.
He was not joking.
He was not fucking with me. It was probably dog. And all I know is if shit goes crazy, Rex is on the menu is all I'm saying. Dog is good.
No.
He's a thick boy.
Yeah. No, I couldn't eat Rex, but I'll eat the neighbor's fucking dogs. That's those.
You know
Nah,
what?
fuck those
Rex would be a good meal. He's thick.
That was it. I ate dog in Korea and I loved it.
Oh God.
Huh.
And then a quick one. I had dead shark after a year covered in manure in Iceland.
I heard that's like an old delicacy.
Whoa.
Tell the story in detail.
Dead shark.
Because I was fascinated.
So went to Iceland. I said, I was stationed there. I said, hey, I want to try what you guys would eat local or whatever. And they said, okay, yeah, come out here. So they served me this plate, had a little chunk of meat on it. It stunk. It looked horrible. I tasted it. It tasted disgusting as fuck. And they said, yeah, this is a delicacy here in Iceland. I was like, oh my God, it was horrible. So after I ate it, and then I said, hey, what is it? And they said, they catch a shark, cut it up in steaks, cover it in cow manure, the whole thing.
I thought you said it was the fin.
No, it's they cut the whole shark up in the steak.
Gotcha.
The steak.
Then they cover manure, then they bury it 3 feet in the icy tundra and leave it for 1 year exactly. And after a year, they dig it up, move all the manure off it, clean it up, and serve it just like that. So apparently the manure
They
cooks
don't
it.
cook it?
The manure cooks it. The heat from the manure.
Meaning,
if you didn't know, steam and shit.
It's the fresh hot shit that cooks it.
Yeah, as the manure
decomposes or whatever, it's cooking the fish,
the meat over
and
the
then
year.
the ice is supposed to keep it fresh, and then they serve it just like
The
that.
ice is supposed to keep it from rotting.
All I know is I told your brother about that, and he was like, no, fuck that, Dad. That's disgusting.
Absolutely
Only
not.
the people older than you enjoy it. No one else, your generation or my generation, do not
You
like
said
it.
your son.
Well, you didn't even like it, you said.
What he
No,
meant
it's horrible.
was our half brother,
Half brother in Iceland, yeah.
our Icelandic half brother, not Jacob. Jacob would never try it.
Absolutely not. You're cooking it with shit?
Yeah. It was rough.
Exactly. It is
like I
cooked
said,
in shit. Shark meat cooked in shit.
I would definitely try a bite.
Oh, you have to try
just so
it.
I would know. Like,
Just
oh
say
my
you
God,
did it.
this tastes like shit.
Yeah.
Just so that I could say it confidently.
It didn't taste like, so it didn't taste like rotten fish or shit. It tasted
Bad.
It was horrible. I don't know how to explain it. It was just, it smelled bad and
Was
it tasted
it
worse.
rancid?
So it wasn't like rotten meat, but it just looked bad. It smelled bad. And
Was
so
it gray meat?
It was a grayish color,
Well,
but they put a thing on it to
Hold
make
on.
it not
Have you ever
discolored.
had aged beef?
Like, what do you mean?
They get cow
Yeah.
and age it. And
Yeah.
they cook
Push it
that,
to the
they
brink.
cook that
Yeah. I'm
steak.
pretty sure I've had that. Yeah.
Because that's supposed to be also one of those things that's like you either love it or hate it.
You
So
know what
then I
the
don't
weird
know.
thing
I
is?
feel
When
like
you
I
said,
would
have you ever tried aged beef? Tara Reid came to mind for some reason. And I don't know why.
I mean, I think I know.
But I would
why.
try it.
Yeah, I would definitely try it. But yeah, so that's so just don't eat it. But
Yeah.
the dog is good. Let me just say.
I believe it.
I would believe that in a heartbeat. Mm-hmm. There's no way that the people of Korea are eating dog just because, you know?
Right.
Maybe at one point it was all they could get, but right now, no.
They have like an
This
entire.
would
I
have
thought they
been-
had like a whole meat fair where it was mostly dogs. It's like a holiday or something. They have like an entire countrywide.
Are we talking
Famous sort of
North
event.
Korea?
No,
or
no,
South Korea?
This is South Korea.
We're talking South Korea.
in
can't
North
go to
Korea,
North
they don't
Korea. 'Cause
have. In
I
North
can
Korea,
see
they don't
that-
have any kind of meat.
You guys weren't listening to Kim Jong because North Korea it's a paradise, really.
Oh.
It's
Yes.
heaven on earth.
Whoa, it's crazy.
Anyway, so we're talking about meat, and I thought I would throw a little twist on it, right? Obviously, I was going to talk about penises,
Right.
or
Which you always do.
meat. I don't always, okay,
It's just always constantly.
or meat flaps, right? Anything. But I thought, you know what? Nobody likes just raw meat. They like to season their meat, right? Meat is better seasoned.
It is.
Just keep that in mind. We're moving on. This is story number 1. This was at a slumber party, 2013. 8 women gathered together for this slumber party. Now, it was your typical slumber party. There was gossip.
Of course.
They drew each other's moon charts. Okay. They ate chocolates. You know, they were just having a good around, just all around good time.
Yeah.
And they were shoving hallucinogenics up their vaginas.
Oh, that's a party.
There we go.
Typical girl things.
I'll draw your
Typical.
moon chart if I've got hallucinogenics in my fucking crevice.
Well, that was pre hallucinogenics.
Oh,
they
okay.
were really weird women. Anyway, I think they were all in college. They recorded everything in a like straight up scientific report that they named Cunt Odyssey.
That's honestly
I love these women.
fantastic.
Oh my
Hold on.
gosh.
Cunt Odyssey. Search for the vaginal data points.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Oh my God.
That's amazing.
This is a scientific article that you can find and read. You can read all of their findings. Now, I will tell you the things they put in their vaginas. Okay.
Okay.
LSD,
Of course.
Nice.
Obviously.
2CB, which I don't even know what that
I
is.
have no clue.
Ketamine. MDMA.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus.
Molly.
Wow.
Xanax.
Holy cow.
All of these were tested. Okay.
Was it all at once?
Oh yeah. Would they put them all in the same vagina, or different people had different stuff?
No,
Every single one of them had all of those.
that is not
No
the
way.
case.
They would die.
That is not the case.
No, say it, son.
They chose different drugs per the woman. They were allowed to choose whatever they wanted, and they put specific things that they wanted up in their vaginas.
So it was like a la carte.
Basically, yeah,
Nice.
it was kind of like a buffet. So basically, nothing happened.
What?
It was such a letdown. I read this article
Really?
for way too long.
Why?
Because who doesn't want to hear about the cunt odyssey?
I do, but
Well, listen, they said it was really nothing special, that they all had normal trips, but they experienced better hallucinogenic trips when the drugs were just taken orally. It's weird.
Really?
I'm waiting for the Cunt Odyssey 2 because they said on their next go that they would crush all of these drugs, make
Right.
them into a paste
Right.
or something that could be absorbed better.
I think it's your rectum when you get. There's people that put alcohol. There's people that do
poop
that,
shoot.
and that's where you get it. The best effect is what I arrested some people that.
Oh,
So
yeah,
that's actually
yeah,
where they
that's
got,
true.
that's actually where they got the idea. Is they had heard of people putting cocaine up their butts.
Right.
We're gonna jump away from the vaginas and we're gonna move to something else.
You jumped
Oh, no.
away from vaginas
Oh, no.
and you
We're
decided
going
to move to
darker.
something
We're
different
jumping
than
to Florida Man.
Yes.
Oh,
They never let down.
Florida Man.
They don't.
They are
They
that.
don't
They
let
don't
down.
disappoint.
So Patrick Florence of Clearwater, Florida.
Patrick Florence sounds like a Florida man name.
He does, doesn't he? Well, he was pulled over at 4 a.m. for no reason on a Saturday. Apparently, he was driving without his headlights on. Okay.
And
Now, officers very quickly arrested Patrick. And that's because he was drunk and high. So he was arrested for DUI pretty quickly. Mind you, I flew into Miami and then drove south to the Keys. But I swear to God, every 10 feet was a fucking cop. Obviously, now that they have an arrest, they began searching his vehicle. And when they begun searching his vehicle, they found, you guessed it, a gun under the driver's seat.
Whoop. Good job, officers.
Now they got a felony. And now they can search Patrick's person. I would have thought that they could have searched him when they arrested him, but apparently they didn't until they found the gun. So then they began searching his person. But that's not what they found. They found something weird on his penis.
oh,
Why?
On?
Why was his penis feeling so weird? These are thorough police officers. They're not letting anything pass them by. So they feel something odd on his penis.
Good job, gentlemen.
Right.
They pull down his pants and they find wrapped around his penis cocaine and meth.
Nice.
What?
Yes.
Nice. Respect.
That's correct. Now, obviously, these weren't his. He said he was just holding them.
Or he tripped and fell.
They weren't his. He's never seen them before. But it didn't matter. He was charged with 4 counts of felony drug possession and a felony gun charge.
Yeah.
So Patrick is probably not doing so well at this point in time.
The way that story went, it kind of bounced around. If they're doing, when they pull him out and they're going to arrest him and they're doing a quick search, they're not pulling in his pockets.
Yeah.
They fill his cock because they're making sure there's no gun in there. And when they felt it, they probably were like, huh, what?
Is that your experience? Is that?
Yeah.
Like that? Just
and
like
then, but once they know they're going to arrest him, they have his pockets and everything. So I don't know why.
But like
they
I
found
said,
the guns.
Wait.
read-
For the new listeners that have never listened to the show before,
Right.
that might be listening tonight,
Yes.
Ryan is not a pervert. He used to be a cop.
Once upon a time.
Right.
Yeah, he has experience in this.
Long
of
time
feeling
ago.
He grabbed cocks for our safety.
Yes,
I
for
did. I
our
made
safety,
the streets
for
safe.
America.
Anyway, we're moving on. This is the third and last story, and this is the longest, but the best.
Okay.
Now, Dr. Andreas David Niederbichler.
Shut up. That is not his name.
Meager Bitchler.
No,
Doctor-
Needler, bitch.
Dr. Andreas David Niederbichler.
Needer Bitchler. Oh,
Okay.
love it.
42 years old, of Magdeburg, Saxony-Anhalt, Germany.
Wow.
Kind of makes sense now. Mm-hmm. He was arrested, unfortunately.
No.
And he stands accused
Oh no. Of what?
of killing a woman by secretly putting cocaine underneath his foreskin
What?
before she gave him a blowjob.
Was he circumcised?
No,
He was not. This is
clearly
Germany.
not.
Oh,
Foreskin.
This is
that was a
Germany.
lot of cocaine under that foreskin.
Ew. So like she went down
Like
on him and
3
she was
ounces.
like what? Oh, typical day blowing an uncut man, cheese and everything.
This blowjob is a little pasty.
That's disgusting.
Poor 38-year-old hairdresser Yvonne. She became extremely short of breath
Oh my goodness.
while delivering this blowjob. She collapsed. She was rushed to the hospital. Now, she died in the hospital, and the autopsy shows that Yvonne died of a cocaine overdose.
My God.
I know. Now, Yvonne and Dr. Niederbichler, they had begun an affair a few months back.
Oh no.
Dirty bastard.
Yvonne was married
Yvonne.
with a child,
Terrible.
and she fell in love with Dr. Niederbichler, and
Who wouldn't?
she wanted to leave her husband for him because she told her friends.
Because she need her a bitchler.
No, he need her a bitchler. No, because she told her friends that Dr. Niederbichler was kind of like her very own personal Christian Grey.
Oh, that's the
Is that 50?
30
50
Shades of Grey?
50 Shades of Grey.
Whatever.
Right.
30, 50.
Such a tame movie.
Chew.
And unfortunately, it led to her death because her own personal Christian Grey was a coke addict.
And wanted
he-
her to be too.
He wanted others to be as well, apparently. Now, after Yvonne's death, other women started coming forward.
Yeah.
They accused Niederbichler of putting cocaine on his penis before vaginal sex without their knowing, and also putting cocaine in their champagne glasses.
Ah.
Now, I was thinking, what the fuck is happening? And I actually found a German article that talked about this specifically. It was in Germany. A
Yeah.
German doctor talked about cocaine
Right.
used for, sexual
Yes.
advances. Apparently, cocaine makes you real horny. One woman had apparently crashed her car because she had no idea that she was currently high on cocaine.
Right.
Another woman lost consciousness for a while,
A while?
and she now suffers permanent nerve damage throughout her body.
Whoa.
Crap. Cocaine was he doing? Jeez.
How much of it?
How
My
big
God.
was his dick?
Apparently, his foreskin is a lot. And
Could
he can fit.
He'd put like a kilo in
He
there.
can fit a kilo under that foreskin.
God damn.
Okay. Dr. Niederbichler was dubbed Dr. Coke Penis.
Not
Of
Coke
course,
cock.
the Germans.
Nope, Dr. Coke Penis.
You know what? That is so much cooler than all the nicknames I listed off earlier.
So during the trial of Dr. Coke Penis,
Speed seed.
he claimed that Yvonne had wanted the coke on his penis. That they were doing
Whoa.
drugs together.
She'd asked for it.
And she asked for it. Unfortunately, the jury didn't give a shit. They were unconvinced.
Okay.
Now, Dr. Coke Penis was ordered to pay for Yvonne's medical expenses. Remember I told you she was taken to the hospital?
Right.
Caused a lot of,
I recall. Yeah.
cost. And he was ordered to pay 25,000 euros to Yvonne's husband and son.
Fair.
Doesn't seem like a lot at all, but also she was like cheating on
it's
her
something.
husband and like wanted to leave her family.
Right.
So like, it's okay.
Maybe
It's
she was
something.
using it
Yeah,
as
her
an
kids
excuse.
will appreciate that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, during the trial, Dr. Coke Penis had claimed that he met Yvonne on a dating website and that was how their relationship began.
All right.
Unfortunately, the defense called Yvonne's father to the stand, and he testified that Yvonne was a patient of Dr. Coke Penis. So now records were then drawn, and it showed that he had performed 2 surgeries on Yvonne in the recent years. He was a plastic surgeon
Yes.
and hand surgeon.
Right.
Okay.
I don't have the record, so I can't tell you what surgeries were performed on Yvonne, but I can tell you that Niederbichler, aka Dr. Coke Penis, performed 2 surgeries on Yvonne. So on top of those fines, Dr. Coke Penis was then sentenced to 9 years in jail.
Oh my
And he
gosh.
lost his license, obviously. He's not a surgeon anymore.
Now
also,
he's just a regular penis.
he was sentenced in 2019, so
Yeah.
he won't be out of German prison until 2028.
So he's Dr. Regular Penis now.
Probably.
Because he can't have drugs in prison.
Yeah.
I like Coke cock better.
Coke cock.
Coke cock.
Cook.
Yeah, he's probably.
I really liked Speed Seed.
Seed.
Yeah.
But anyway, all this to say, genitals and drugs don't mix. I'm talking street drugs. I'm not talking pharmaceuticals. And I also found many articles showing that methamphetamine and cocaine both lead to penis shrinkage.
Really?
They lead to smaller penises.
Good to know.
I
Dodge
need
that
to
bullet.
stop
that.
taking both of those.
Yeah.
That's good. So there you have it. There
Thank
you have
you,
it,
Jacob.
guys.
Thanks
You're
for talking
welcome.
about penises for so
well
long.
done.
You're welcome. I don't think it was that long. It was like a normal amount of time.
I guess that Jake would talk about penises, but
Yeah.
I've never heard a story where a woman OD'd because of cocaine on a penis.
If we're taking personal opinions into the equation, I think he was not lying. I think they
Same
were doing.
here.
I think they were doing coke together, and then he also powdered some coke on his cock, and she happened to overdose in that moment. You're
We
gonna
got
die.
one more wheel spin.
We do.
That's true.
Oh, we got another wheel spin.
Jessica,
Okay.
spin. All right, you must give your meat or take the meat from one person in history.
Other than like something boring like your current spouse. For those of us who
No,
have
we're talking history. We're talking textbooks. We're talking a name that multiple people know.
Abraham Lincoln.
You're taking the meat
Yeah.
from Abraham Lincoln.
I think the hat was representative of something else going on.
Like what?
His dick being really long.
He was a very tall man.
I'm giving my meat to Marilyn Monroe.
Nice.
You know what? The old people are on the same page here because I was going to go with Jane Mansfield
Yeah.
before she lost her head because she was much prettier then.
Okay.
With a head? Did she lose her
With
head
her
somehow?
head.
Was she decapitated? Is that for real?
she was decapitated
That
in a
sounds
car
terrible.
accident.
Wow.
I would be delivering my meat upon. I'm stuck between two. I'm just gonna pull a trigger on one. I will deliver my meat upon Mary, Queen of Scots.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent choice.
Yes,
Excellent choice.
Because I think while my meat is being delivered, I could convince her to do things the right way, you know?
Like, what do you mean?
Not like the lame UK way.
What do you
know?
mean, though?
Like maybe the UK is a little better than it is now, you know?
Right.
So Flash,
It's all good.
Whose meat are you taking? Or whose
Or
meat
giving.
are you giving?
I was giving mine to Jane Mansfield.
Oh, that's right.
That's what he said. That's
The
true.
one with the head, not
the
without.
head, right.
The head-
and you're
the head
taking
version.
Abraham Lincoln's.
I will accept Abraham. Yes.
Okay, very good.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening. Please remember to like, rate, subscribe, and share this podcast. You can share it with anyone who has a sexual fantasy about Mary Todd Lincoln. You can share it with anyone who doesn't even know who she is.
I want to give a shout out before we get all done.
Of course.
I would like to thank Runza Restaurants and Kincaid Brewery from Broken Bow, Nebraska, for supporting this podcast tonight, even though it was unintentional.
They unintentionally support.
They have great products, and they would really do well if they would promote a prime podcast like this.
Yes. Up and coming, on the rise.
Yes.
Be sure to join us. You can see us next week for our next topic, which I haven't found yet. So we can just make it up right here on the spot. Flash, Dad, a word now.
Forest.
Gorgons. Sharks.
Crocodile. Those things.
Reptile. How about reptile?
There you go.
Reptiles.
I think next week's topic is in fact, I don't know how to spell reptile.
REPTI.
Yeah, we got it.
Doesn't matter. It's a stupid
matter.
fucking dumb.
Let him do it.
It doesn't matter. Let me be a big boy. Anyway, thank you, Father, for joining us once again.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys both
Yeah.
for being here tonight. I know it was a long one. But thank you, Flash, also for making the drive. I know that was especially long.
But it was a very fun one. Even though it was long, it was fun.
You know,
That's what she said.
I've never heard
Really?
that before.
Yeah.
Never.
I'm pretty sure somebody said that sometime in their lifetime.
I don't think so.
Really?
Don't
Never?
recall.
No.
Okay. Well, it wasn't fun. Fuck you both. Ryan, you're cool. We out.
Thank you for listening. Goodbye.
Good night, everybody.
See you later. More like Abraham Lincoln,
Oh, wow.
right?
My God. You're gonna make a cuckold of Mary Todd?
Yeah, have a seat in the cuck chair, Mary.
You're so fucked up.